Let's go! Bernard, any reaction? Any reaction?
So if you go past five rounds, it's a wrap.
It wasn't a play.
The guy knew so many people, bro. The overhand right. Jake's got a tough chin, dude. I think he does whatever he wants after this. He just has such big balls, dude. He had to keep moving. That was the only strategy. People are gonna say he ran around the ring. They don't know. They don't understand fucking boxing.
You showed a ton of heart, right?
Ton of heart.
Just let me know your thoughts on Jake going 6 rounds with AJ.
You know, the fact that he did that, it was good because you know we didn't think it was going to go 6 rounds. We thought it was going to go 2. So the fact that he made 6 rounds is an accomplishment for Jake Paul.
I mean, I expected Jake to fight the way he fought.
Right.
You know, trying to stay away. You don't know if how long that's gonna last. You know, Joshua had something to say about that. So you don't know, but I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised.
Right. Were you, I don't know, impressed by anything Jake did? Maybe getting, I mean, he took a right hand to heavyweights have taken and...
Yo. Don't mind me. Just smoking on that Jake Paul pack. Honestly, Jake Paul, trash. Tommy Fury, trash.
Knocks out Jake Paul in the 6th round. He had multiple knockdowns throughout this fight. A little bit of a weird, scrappy fight. Even the referee had to pause the fight in about the 4th round and say, listen, the fans didn't come to pay for this crap. And Joshua handles Jake the business, the 2-time heavyweight champion of the world.
Jake.
What up, brother? What'd you think, brother?
I can't say Jake Paul don't got heart, bro.
Wow, incredible, right? I mean, he kept taking the right hands, the left hooks. What did you think?
You can't say Jake Paul don't got heart, bro.
You got
What's good, bro? You the old guy now. That's crazy. Hey, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do? This 4 rounds left. You've lost every single one of them. You've lost every single round.
Was it a little too long to get done, or?
When you fight someone like that, who moves around a lot, you have to try and pick your moments, pick your shots.
Yeah.
That's what he did. So congratulations to Joshua.
Man, and credit.
Rugby tackling you, but he had to do what he had to do to survive, and he did that. So, you know, it's very difficult to go in like, you know, out of the ring for 14 months and just be razor sharp with a guy running. And so, yeah, probably 2 or 3 rounds more than expected, but.
Jake is tough. He's tough. He's tough. And the first couple shots didn't land clean. The last one landed clean.
Where does Jake go from here?
Like he said, he need a rest. Take some time off. Enjoy the fruits of his labor.
Say what you want about Jake Paul, but that boy is a real showman. He got some real clean hits off, but I'm not gonna lie, what really got him down bad was the fact that he got gas, bro.
What really blows my mind is just how close everything came to falling apart before the whole thing imploded. Because everyone out there was convinced this fight would be over into rounds maximum. But that's not how it played out, and honestly, that's where the real story begins. So stick with me, because once you hear why, it changes absolutely everything about what we thought we knew. And you need to understand that boxing insiders were making their calls before the opening bell even rang. And when you hear what they predicted, you're going to think they lost their minds until you actually watch how those predictions held up in real time. One guy was out there saying Jake Paul would knock AJ out cold, while another said AJ would end this man's whole existence, and one of them ended up being completely wrong for a reason that should genuinely terrify you. So Tyson Fury decides to jump in first and completely sets the internet on fire by claiming Jake Paul knocks Anthony Joshua out stone cold. No debate about it, no second guessing. He said he'd put £1 million on that outcome. And that single statement completely flipped how everyone was looking at this thing. And that level of confidence wasn't just random talk either. Wait until I tell you what Fury apparently noticed that nobody else picked up on. See, Fury didn't just throw his support behind Jake, he basically said AJ was finished as a force in boxing while Paul is on the rise and getting bigger and heavier and more dangerous with every fight. That right there is pure psychological warfare that's designed to get in somebody's head, and AJ definitely heard every word of it. Then Alexander SYK cuts through all the hype like a blade and drops the most bone-chilling line of this entire build-up when he says if Anthony Joshua wants it, he will kill this guy. Not outbox him, not decision him, kill him. SYK straight up compared Joshua to a Rolls Royce while saying Jake Paul is basically a Fiat and that wasn't him just running his mouth, that was a genuine warning shot. One mistake in there changes somebody's life completely, and one clean shot ends careers for good, and that's exactly why people were genuinely scared about this matchup. Then Deontay Wilder comes out and not only picks Joshua to win but hints that the whole thing feels like it's been scripted from the start. And just that statement alone rocked the entire foundation of what this event was supposed to be about. Think about it, you've got the weight difference, the star power, the money, and that's basically the formula for manufacturing danger. Wilder also made sure to point out this was the first time Jake Paul stepped in against an active, legitimate professional fighter, not legends who were way past their best years. Suddenly this wasn't fun anymore, it wasn't some novelty act, this was reality swinging back. David Haye went even darker with his take, saying Joshua could inflict horrendous lasting damage, the kind of damage that doesn't just disappear once the check clears. He literally asked for a compassionate referee to be in there because if AJ gets Jake trapped on the ropes, it could legitimately be his last day breathing. That's not promotional hype, that's genuine fear coming out of his mouth. Conor Benn showed respect for Jake's guts but still admitted his mind immediately went to one thing, and that was making sure the ambulance was standing by and ready. But then he paused for a second and said, maybe, just maybe, there's like a 10% chance here. And that 10% is exactly what keeps millions of people glued to their screens. That 10% is what sells the tickets and fills the seats. And that tiny 10% is precisely how legends get toppled. Roy Jones Jr. brought it back to pure cold truth and said you don't outbox Anthony Joshua, you roll the dice and gamble your entire existence on landing one massive shot. Joshua has been training for this since he was a kid while Jake hasn't, and that gap doesn't shrink just because you believe in yourself. Roy pointed out Jake knows AJ has hit the canvas before, and that kind of belief becomes dangerous because it tricks you into thinking miracles can happen twice. But here's the brutal, honest question: if you had a tough time beating Tommy Fury, how exactly do you expect to beat Anthony Joshua? Lennox Lewis kept it simple and said this should be easy work for AJ, end of story. And when legends start agreeing on something, history tends to follow that same path. Eddie Hearn acknowledged that no boxer with any sense would turn this opportunity down because there's too much money on the table, too much exposure, and honestly too little risk sitting there for Joshua. Hearn laid it all out and said the game plan was to knock Jake out as quickly as humanly possible because anything else would be a complete disaster. Going all the rounds would be embarrassing and losing would be absolutely catastrophic. And even just surviving somehow wouldn't actually make Jake the winner in any real sense. And here's where things get twisted because nobody wants to say it out loud, but Jake Paul didn't actually win this fight, yet he won something else entirely. And in the next breakdown, I'm going to show you exactly why this loss might have changed the sport of boxing forever. Because this L didn't hurt Jake Paul's brand, it actually made it stronger, and that's what has every promoter absolutely shook right now. He didn't take the win on the scorecards, but he took all the attention, and attention is basically the real championship belt in today's world. Jake Paul proved you don't need to dominate to survive under those bright lights, you just need to hold on long enough for doubt to start creeping in. Those 6 rounds were the crack in the armor, and cracks are exactly where revolutions get started. Boxing purists absolutely hate hearing this part, but the numbers don't lie. You've got more eyeballs, more controversy, more money flowing, and suddenly the sport has a massive problem it can't just punch its way out of. Now every fighter watching sees the blueprint laid out in front of them. You don't have to be the best fighter, you just need to be brave enough to step inside those ropes. And being brave enough keeps those cameras rolling all night long. Here's the part that nobody is talking about openly yet. Jake Paul lost to Anthony Joshua and somehow walked out of there more powerful than half the guys ranked in the division. That terrifies champions, that terrifies promoters, that terrifies the entire old guard of boxing. And behind closed doors, the conversations have already shifted toward bigger names, bigger risks, and way bigger paydays. Because if Jake can survive a fight with AJ, then who's really off the table at this point? This is where boxing starts to change quietly. Mara takes a back seat while momentum grabs the steering wheel. And the next matchup you're going to hear being thrown around is going to sound completely impossible. Because this fight proved one thing beyond any shadow of doubt: the line separating spectacle from legitimate sport is officially gone. And once that line vanishes, there's no way to bring it back. So when the next big announcement drops, don't sit there acting surprised. When another undefeated record gets waved in front of Jake Paul's face, don't even blink. Because the machine has gotten a taste of blood, and in the next breakdown, I'm exposing the exact opponent they're discussing behind closed doors right now. Not the one they're expecting you to guess, but the one they're praying you won't see coming.
I mean, I expected Jake to fight the way he fought.
Right.
You know, trying to stay away. You don't know if how long that's gonna last. You know, Joshua had something to say about that. So you don't know, but I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised.
Right. Were you, I don't know, impressed by anything Jake did? Maybe getting, I mean, he took a right hand to heavyweights have taken.